Hey, it's MK, and I am here for another Scraps to Embellishments, creating with our scraps crafting hop, put on by Ginger's Corner here, who is Ginger Bush. But she is Ginger's Corner here on YouTube. So I am also playing along with Series 14, Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. And this gorgeous sketch was created by Sean Lar, I think is how you say her last name. I apologize, Sean, if I got it wrong. I love Sean's designs. She always has this fun, quirky movement sort of design. It gives it flow. It gives it life, basically, in all of her sketches. So I love it when she becomes a part of a sketch hop, because then I get to play with her designs. So for this one, I am going to be doing the embellishments first, and then I will put the layout together because Ginger's is more towards using your scraps as embellishments. Well, for this one, I pulled out a lot of scraps left over from several projects. Even though I'm not using paper scraps, I have scraps of geared stickers, scraps of, what are those called? Chalkboard? Nope, not chalkboard. What is that brown stuff called? Corkboard. Corkboard hexagons. I have scraps left over from a paper pumpkin kit, those little mountain things. I have scraps left over from a chipboard clock, so the inner bits of the clock I have. And then I have leftovers of wood veneer pieces from a set that I sell on in my shop. So those are the scraps per se that I will be using to make my embellishments. Now I'm sharing with you guys the papers that I'll be using to create the layout when I go to use the embellishments that I create. There's a lot of people that say, okay, I saw you create all these embellishments. How do you apply them to your layout? And now I'm going to share with you guys how. So there's two different ways that I make embellishments, to be honest. The first way is that I make them in bulk. And when I make a bulk amount, like say 10 or more of what looks similar to but not exactly the same embellishment, those are usually gifties. I'm usually making a table gift for a retreat, or things that I'll throw in as happy mail in an order that somebody orders, things like that. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that I clarify that, because I made a bunch in January and somebody wanted me to use them on a layout. Well, they were all too similar and the same to be used on one layout, or in a singular album. They were just way too many that looked the same, in my opinion. I might use one, but that's about it. I would not use multiples of those. But these types of scraps that I will be demonstrating today are meant for a specific layout, because they're all going to be different. You're going to have a title and then a medium. You're going to have a title, which is usually my large embellishment, and then a medium embellishment, and then a smaller embellishment. And so that is how I work with the different types of embellishments that I do end up creating. So the first thing that I like to do is called divide and conquer. And what I do is I split up my embellishments so that way I know exactly what I'm working with. I knew I had 3 mountains. I knew that I had wood veneer for all of them, a gear for all of them, and then of course my title piece. So with that being said, I will end up bringing in a few more pieces from my geared little box that I have, my container that has all of the things that make me happy, which is gears. You guys knew that. So I'm going to start by building up, bringing in some acrylic pieces. Again, they are available in my shop. I'm not sure if some of them are or some of them are sold out. I apologize if they are. I don't have that information right off the hand here at the moment. But I do end up bringing them in just to help me build it up. Now, the cool thing about my acrylic is that it's only a 16th inch. Well, some of it is not. Some of it is still my older acrylic that I purchased when I first started, but I am venturing more towards the 16th inch, so that way it is not super thick. The remarkable word came from Not Just for Boys. And then the sticker book is left over from the layout that I made yesterday. And I keep them all. I keep all of my leftovers unless they are garbage, like these little bits that I'm cutting out now. Those are garbage. I won't save those. But I do keep all my leftovers in a bin sitting right next to me. So that way, if I need a little bit of something like this sticker, I'm able to just pull it without having to go look for it for a long time. I like quick and easy layouts like this because I just need something. And I feel like if I have to go and look in my whole stash, that something will turn into, like a rabbit hole so deep I'll never pull myself out of, right? So anyways, that's why I keep my all of my goodies right next to me while I'm working with a specific month or whatever. And then I can just go through there and whatever I find there will work just fine. It won't be a problem. And the sticker was perfect because it's like a topical map with a trail on it. And that's basically what we're looking at here in my photos. So, I'm going to go ahead and take all the things that I did. Now, my wood veneer does have adhesive on the back. It also has a masking on the front, so don't forget to peel that masking off to reveal the gorgeous wood grain underneath. My pieces have already been peeled off, so I do not have to do that. I usually peel all of my pieces off right off the bat. I don't wait till I use them. I usually get them peeled off right away. Plus, I think those are the ones that I share with you guys. If I'm being honest, is mine, because if they break or get a smudge on them or something like that, I'm perfectly fine with that. Because normally, what I do with my wood pieces is I color them using paint pens, and then that way it gives them a little bit of personality and matches my layout that I'm working with. All right, so I just took a couple pieces or a couple goobers from my roll of adhesive dots to stick on my remarkable title. And then for these stickers, now these geared stickers, surprise, surprise, I found them at the Dollar Tree. I was just going through the Dollar Tree. I can't even remember where. I don't have one local, so I'm going to Winnemucca, Nevada, or there's another one that I'll have to ask my friend where that second one is that we end up going to. But I was just walking down the aisle and I saw these stickers and I thought, oh my gosh, these are actually kind of cool and interesting looking. However, they still had their little inner bits inside. So I have to cut the camera out because it takes a while to take those sticker inner bits out and they stick to everything. So anyways, went ahead and built up all of my embellishments. That's super fast. And then I'm going to work on these gears that I picked out. Now, these are two giant gears that I sold once before in my shop. It's just a little cut file. I'm not sure if the cut file is still in my shop or not, if it came over from Etsy and ended up on the website. I will double check to make sure, see if it is. But I'm just taking whatever brown ink was on my blending tool, and I'm just scrubbing. That's all I'm doing is basically cleaning my blending tool using a cut file to do it. That's it. And then I'm also getting the highs and the lows of the color because it's not going to be the same. It's not the same everywhere else. And then I'm going to take my Dina Wakley in gold and go ahead and splatter a little bit on. I do make bigger mess on my desk than I do on the cut file, but I'm okay with that. So then I'm going to go and let that dry and clean up my desk so I can put the rest of the layout together. So I went ahead and I cut down all my papers. I'm actually going to be making 3 layouts. I know this is weird. It's an insert in between another set of 2-page layouts. And I decided to go ahead and do 3 layouts because I didn't really want to do it. It was too much for a 12 by 12 layout. It wasn't enough of a wow moment for a 2-page layout. I don't know, you guys. These photos just weren't all that in a bag of chips, but I really wanted them to be in my scrapbook because of the craftsmanship that went into the plaque that was made. I don't remember when it was made. It was made in 2018. is when that plaque was. So I'm sharing with you guys, I'm doing an 8.5 by 11 and two 8x8s. And then there's going to be two photos on each page. The 8.5 by 11 and one of the 8x8s is actually going to be a double page spread. So I have to make it look, I don't have to, I choose to make it look like it's cohesive all the way across. So here's my double page spread. And then the other one is just going to be a filler spot for my 8x8 on the other side, if that makes sense. And then this is the start of my 2-page spread when I get the other page done. So like I've already done the second, the 12 by 12 layout that's on the other side of these pieces, if that makes any sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my large gears and use those as the large circular elements in Sean's sketch. And granted, I have a little bit of a maneuverability, like I'm just taking pieces and flowing it across my layout, where she has her photos in a specific design, and I really can't do that with what I have. So I'm taking bits and pieces. So like for this 8.5 by 11 page, I took the two 4x4s that she has stacked on top, and then the archway title piece. That's where my gear is coming into place. So that's where my design came in, but I wanted to keep one photo as a 4x6 instead of chopping it down to 4x4, because I would have lost the aspect of the canyon that we are actually looking at. This was on the June Lake Loop. It's actually not the loop itself. It is on the road to June Lake, in between Mono and something else. Yosemite? Mono and Yosemite is where this road is. I can't remember the name of the road, you guys, but it's a major highway that we use to get back and forth between all these little towns. And so we stopped because this is significant to my father-in-law. And I honestly forgot why. I have to ask him. I really do. So I forgot why this was so significant. I'm not necessarily going to talk about the canyon itself, because it is a little descriptive and graphic. As you can see, the name of the canyon, it pops up quite a bit on my layout because I took a picture of the plaque that the Bodhi chapter has put out here for us to read. In fact, the Bodhi chapter is the ones that created this this plaque stand. And I thought it was really cool because they tried to take the tools of the day, the 1800s, like the horseshoes that they found along the path, the rocks, and then their recipe for what is that stuff called? Mortar, I think is what it's called. And they built this plaque using what they had back in the 1800s, which I thought was really, really cool. And I also thought that it was a good way to use Ginger's theme for in the garage. Like they built this by hand, things that you would find in the garage. And then of course the tooling that I picked out, I was hoping was really similar to what they might have used for bending the horseshoes in place. And I saw a couple nails, so I brought in the chipping hammer, and then some pliers I brought in as well. I'm not really sure why. And then, of course, the ruler, because they had to make sure it was straight, right? So it makes sense to me. And I definitely enjoyed and had fun creating the embellishments and whatnot. But I just really felt like these embellishments went really well with this page and helped me tell my story about how they built this particular, I don't want to say it's a monument, but this particular stand for their plaque. And so I also liked the fact that I was adding the hexagons elsewhere instead of just right there in the title. And then I brought in the numbers because it was like it's centuries old. It's lasted through time. Well, of course, it's a canyon. A canyon will last through time, but the history of the canyon has kind of gotten lost in translation. There's so many myths about this canyon that if you look it up, nobody even knows what the truth is except for how deadly the canyon can be, and that's how it got its name, in all honesty. And that's pretty much all I'm going to touch on it, because like I said, it does go very graphic. If you guys want to go look it up, go look it up. But it gets very graphic because of the terrain that is involved in this canyon. We didn't get up close and personal to it. You actually have to walk past the trees to go see it. And my father-in-law has a bad back, and so this is about as close as we could get to the canyon. But if we were to have walked at least to the tree line, we would have seen a little bit more of what this plaque is depicting. So anyways, that is what I have for you guys today. I had a blast actually creating this. I love using my tissue paper as well. I know I didn't talk a whole lot about the paper that was used, so I used tissue paper, the 12-inch ones from Tim Holtz that came out several years ago. You guys, I have no idea where I even got that tissue paper from. I also used a pattern paper from, give me a heartbeat, close to my heart, and then I also used 2 of the papers from Basic Gray. And then the third paper, I believe, is a Reminisce paper that came in one of my Not Just for Boys Kit Club kits. So just from my stash. I think you can look it up and find it on scrapbook.com, but I'm not really sure because I know that it's about a year old, if not more. All right, so here are a couple close-ups. I really couldn't get the word remarkable to show up very well in the pictures. But in person, it sticks out, like you can actually see it. But in the photos, it looks like it blends and you can't even see what it says. But yeah, that's it. I got a couple links down for you guys. I got links for the Scraps to Embellishment gals, everybody that is playing along with Ginger's Scraps. I'm sorry, not Ginger's Scraps, Ginger's Corner. I apologize. And then I also have the playlist for Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 14, her 30 Days of Sketches. And thank you, Sean, for allowing us to use another one of your amazing sketches. And I will check you guys all later. Thanks, you guys. Bye.